I have no words other than this is beautiful. I'm heading out to Traelanipa, not too far from the airport. This is probably one of the most popular spots. It does cost 200 krona, which comes to about $28 American. It's privately owned land, so I don't mind paying it. It's cloudy. I'm gonna try and get as much shots as possible. You cannot drone here. It's close to the airport, so follow the rules. There's a nice man. When you pay at the gate, there's a bathroom. They got some concessions, some food, and he gives you little tips and everything, but it's pretty cool. It's probably about 3 cars when I'm here. It's time to head out there and check out this like a floating lake. It's not really, it's an optical illusion, but I'm super excited. This is the main shot that people like to see when they come to the Faroe Islands. Let's head out there. Probably spend half a day out here on these cliffs, and now I'm going to check out the floating lake, which is really not a floating lake, but it's a little cloudy, but there's some sun coming through, so I hope so. Let's go check it out. This is just a playground up here in Traelanipa by the airport. Once you get to the end of the path, the gentleman I paid the 200 kroner to, you could just kind of go on the grass, go everywhere. I was up there at the top of those cliffs up there. There's the floating lake, and then these other cliffs, which I'm not heading to. The rain just stopped. I was cold. Now I'm warming up. You have to bring plenty of rain gear. And you can just go anywhere. I'm just going to keep roaming around this beautiful grassy cliff playground, floating lake. This is just stunning up here in the Faroe Islands. Once again, I am so low. I'm getting so lucky right now. The sun just came out from the fog and the rain. There's no one out here. Gasadalur Mulafossur, if I said that right. A main spot in the Faroe Islands, not too far from the airport. Just a magical place. I am in heaven right now. Jaw-dropping. Just spectacular out here. Hi. Finally got a clear day. This is my 7th day. I'm up here near Slatender, right by Funningur. I have no words. This is absolutely gorgeous. It's been raining every single day. This is the spot. Oh wow. Great ridgeline. I'm probably gonna take that. Rain's definitely coming in about an hour, so I gotta get some shots. I have no words other than this is beautiful. This hike I just did, all you gotta do is follow these green posts. You'll get down all the way down to there with that beautiful view. It's a big triangle. Takes you back down around, down to your car. Or you can start and just come up this fence line. That's what I saw a bunch of locals doing. That's what I did. Up that fence line all the way up here. Beautiful view. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now I just want to give some tips and some final thoughts that might help you for your Faroe Islands vacation. I did a 7-day, 6-night trip in early to mid-May. I got a rental car and an Airbnb in Klaksvik. Now Klaksvik was centrally located. I wanted to be able to get from one side to the other of the Faroe Islands as quick as I could with the weather and be able to get as much photography and videography in as I could. Also, I wanted a kitchen to be able to cook my own meals. There was only one other person there the entire time for 2 nights, and then I had the rest of the Airbnb to myself. But I just went to a local grocery store, picked up some food, and I'd even take my lunch and sometimes my dinner with me. I had plenty of snacks in me in the car, in my rental car. You can get from one side of the Faroe Islands to the other in just an hour and a half, but I loved that solitude of Klaksvik. Just be able to get up and go whenever I wanted to. A lot of people, like I said, do stay in Torshavn. There's a lot of hotels there. It is very, very densely populated. There's some narrow streets and not a ton of parking, so I chose Klaksvik. My host was very helpful and awesome. He gave me a lot of tips that I didn't know about. He had some hiking guides there that I went through. And so that was awesome. He was a photographer also. Definitely, I recommend getting a rental car if you're going to be going to the Faroe Islands. You can get around by bus. There is a bus that'll take you around. I saw some people doing that. But that was key to me, to have a rental car just to be able to get up and go whenever I wanted to. I did learn very quickly when I got off my flight that there are sheep everywhere, which is one of my points here. Driving in the Faroe Islands, it was fairly easy. You got to keep your lights on. There's a lot of one-lane roads. There's a lot of one-lane tunnels. There's 2-lane tunnels. There's some tolls for a couple tunnels. I avoided most of them. I had to pay a couple because I was just trying to save money. But driving in the Faroe Islands isn't that bad. Just be careful with the weather. In my opinion, the locals drove pretty fast. No offense. But I would just pull over. There's spots to pull over and let them pass, especially on the one-lane roads. You just have to be careful with the weather, which I'm going to get to here in a moment. After I got off my flight, I got there in the dark because we were delayed in Norway, which is another point. It's the middle of the North Atlantic. So we landed in the fog. We tried to land the first time. We tried to land for about 2 hours. Then we went to Norway, hung out for 4 hours, flew back in. The pilots, we literally landed in the fog, and they were amazing. So then I just took off in the dark, and the sheep were everywhere. Did a little photography that night before I headed to my Airbnb in Klaksvik. The weather. You are going to get all 4 seasons in one day, and I did. You just have to embrace it. I ran into some people who were also traveling there when I was heading out. I ran into in Copenhagen, and they were worried about the forecast. And I told them I was just there for 7 days. You can check the forecast, but it would say it was going to be sunny, and it wasn't. It would say it was going to rain, and it was sunny. So I wouldn't trust the forecast. Just go have some good hiking gear, some good boots, some rain pants, some rain jacket. I didn't see any umbrellas. The wind is pretty nasty. I only saw one umbrella in the afternoon in Torshavn, but just embrace the weather. I got snow, I got rain, I got hail, I got everything, and it was just awesome. I would just smile. I mean, it's a beautiful place, whether it's cloudy or sunny. It's just such a magical, incredible place to see, no matter what the weather is. But I got everything. I got every single season you could think of. One thing I did is I brought my backpacking quilt. I went to Funningur, a place near Funningur, 3 times, and it was raining, and then it would be cloudy and sunny. I took my backpacking quilt and just took a nap in my car. And then I think on my 7th day is when it was the sunniest there. I just hung out. I was there for the sunrise, and then I went back for the sunset one time, but it was snowing one time. I was there. Super cloudy another time, but just rainy. Didn't get the best weather my last day in Funningur. That's just one thing I like to do. Just take a nap and wait out the weather is what I'd recommend. Be patient and be flexible is my biggest recommendation with the weather. You're going to get all those seasons, and you just have to embrace it. I did take one ferry. I was trying to take 2 ferries, but the one ferry I did not take was Mykines. I had already seen the puffins in Iceland, so I decided to skip that. But I went to Kalsoy. You take the ferry in Klaksvik. I got there very early. I didn't need to be there that early, but I was the first one on. And then when I got off, it was raining and cloudy. I just took another nap in my car. So I was very well rested in my car, waited it out, had an awesome hike at the Kallur Lighthouse with the sunset and the sun coming out. Met some new Swedish friends who I didn't get to connect with, who were at the mercy of the bus. So I gave them a ride at the end of my Kallur Lighthouse hike on Kalsoy Island back to their Airbnb. And I made the last ferry back to Klaksvik, and I just took some other hikes around Klaksvik. And then it started to rain, which leads to another point, the sunrise and sunset. I actually drove all the way back to the west side to Mulafossur Waterfall in Gasadalur and got an amazing sunset. Just waiting out the weather, and you got about 17 hours of daylight. I think I was there, it was 4:44 a.m. until 10:04 p.m. So just a spectacular sunrise and sunset. Get up early for it, and I stayed out late for it. I just was drinking a lot of instant coffee. The small towns, the people are very kind and sweet, and even the dogs. A couple towns, the dogs would follow me around on hikes, especially at Mulafossur Waterfall. In Gasadalur, there's a dog there that actually likes to kick a rock to you, and it wants you to throw the rock. I thought it was just me, but I saw some other people on Instagram that it was doing that too. So it's pretty popular near Gasadalur. And like I said, those 2 dogs followed me around at least twice on hikes around there. But getting up for the sunrise and sunset is something I tried to do no matter what the weather was. Another point, with there's some good restaurants. Just book those way in advance. I couldn't get any. I even tried when it's there, and they're not open all the time. So I wasn't really there for the food. They do have some great food. But I brought some of my food and just bought local food at the grocery store. So book those way in advance. And if you're going to be getting any alcohol, I did get some alcohol a couple nights. They're only open for about 3 or 4 hours at a time. So plan that ahead of time. I didn't know that. I tried to buy it at a gas station, a couple beers for after some hikes, and after at a grocery store, and they weren't open. So just if you're looking for some alcohol, make sure you know what time the liquor stores are opening. And also some of those small towns, research some of the hikes. I found some hikes that I just kept researching and talking to the locals, talking to my host. He helped me out with a couple extra hikes, and just extremely, extremely helpful. I know in Gasadalur it's called the postal route, where you can go up over this big mountain pass. It's how the mailman and mailwoman used to get over from Bour to Gasadalur to deliver the mail until they built the tunnel. So I'm going to do that next time. You can hike up there and get a great shot of Mulafossur Waterfall, and that sunset at Gasadalur is just amazing. But the people in the small towns are awesome. I just look at the signs. You know, obviously they got signs, don't look through the windows, so I didn't do that. I ran into some people who worked on the trail cruise, who were piggybacking a trip after being there for 2 to 3 days, and they were working on the trail cruise. I believe it's Visit Faroe Islands. You can apply for it. I think you have to say why you want to go there. It's a lottery, I believe. I'd look into it. Once again, Visit Faroe Islands. I'm going to look into it next time. You work on the trail cruise and keep them maintained for the tourists and the locals. The trails looked amazing when I was there. Yes, they were very wet, but I ran into a bunch of people and met them who were piggybacking a vacation after that. They'll pick up your room and board. You just have to pick up your flight. It's something I'm definitely going to look into for the future. There was one night also where it was raining. I just decided to go, my last night there, to a Faroe Islands Premier League soccer game. So there's a couple United States local people from where I'm from who were playing. So I had a great time with the locals watching that soccer game throughout the night. There's just so much to do in the Faroe Islands. I cannot recommend it enough. But once again, the weather, yes, it's going to rain. You're going to get wet. Embrace it. It is the most beautiful place. Doesn't matter what the temperature is. I got some beautiful pictures once again while it was just snowing. I hope this video helps you. I hope you have a great time in the Faroe Islands. And finally, I really, really appreciate you watching. I hope this helps. And we'll see you next time.